Right, we going live. Am I on? Is this it? Y'all better show up. I know y'all not playing with me today. Y'all better show up. We got one person in the chat. Let me make sure YouTube sends out that notification because I know y'all not playing with me today. As soon as you come into the room, drop the hearts in the chat. Say what up, because y'all know who I got in here tonight. Okay? Don't I be doing good by y'all? You see what I do? Let me see where y'all at. Okay. Because why she on the wrong show, Khaled? She on the wrong show. She said, this the game? Hello, 2007? Hi, Jordan. Hi, Khaled. What's up? Y'all know we got a special guest. I'm waiting to see who's in here. Since y'all want to sign up. Since y'all want to sign up to be a patron or all of the sudden. And tonight we have so much to do because tonight is going to be this show with our beautiful, wonderful special guest. And we have a VIP post show where my VIP patrons also get to come on the show and talk about last night's episode live on YouTube. So I'm excited. We got Simone who came through. We got Mara who came through. What's up, Natalie? I didn't mean to start the show yelling at you. You valid. You're very valid. Okay. What's up, you guys? I am JustLatasha, your host for this evening on this Patreon exclusive episode of the dissection. You guys know we are exclusively dissecting the final season 5 of Insecure right here. And we only 3 episodes in. We have so much shit talking left to do. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Carla. Y'all better come on in. Y'all know we got a special guest. Don't play me. Do not play me, okay? And we're going to be on our best behavior because we in front of company tonight. What's up? What's up? Okay, you guys. So tonight we are dissecting pressure, okay? And like I've mentioned, I am your host, JustLatasha. We're here live every Monday, 6 p.m. EST. To go deep dive in what is a dissection. We do not review, we don't recap, we look at a directorial eye and compare the visuals of the show with the story to expand it, talk about it critically, find out all the stuff they didn't say, right? We go just a little deeper, all right? Full moon was out, emotions is out, there's a baby, it's getting real dramatic, okay? So I have someone who is joining me on tonight's journey, just for this moment, just for tonight, just for you and I. This is 1/3 of the Friend Zone podcast, your favorite show. The wellness god herself, okay? All right? The plant mother, the Black woman whisperer, okay? Because she be talking right here, and it'd be easy the way she do that. She be talking with just 140 characters or less. She does that, okay? Of course, she is half of the official after show podcast of HBO's Insecure. Check out right after each new episode, Insecurity, alongside none other than the god Crystal West. All right? She dropped a whole commercial today. She just dropped the commercial like, just an ad, bow, boom, uplifting Black business in the meantime with the curls on Bob. Like, she makes it look easy. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, because who else? Who else is going to do it? Nobody. The face of the Mona Lisa haircut because they're calling her Bob. Okay, the face of the Mona Lisa haircut because they're calling her Bob. Doing it. Okay, everyone. No, I don't want to waste no more time. Please welcome to the room. Hey, Fran. Hey, coming on.
Hi, beautiful one. That was some good PR. You made me sound good.
The crowd goes wild. Hey, Fran Hey, thank you so much for joining the dissection.
My pleasure. My absolute pleasure. You know, me and you, we go back. So watching you do your thing, I'm like, let me know when I can be a part of it. So I'm happy to be here.
I just have to say I'm so grateful for you because you be the only one that don't look at me like I'm crazy when I'm outside. Because
Ever.
I just be like, I just be feeling the vibe too much sometimes. But I just it just be me, and you get it, So we're so happy to have you here. Everybody saying what up, friend, the Taurus
Hey,
queen.
what's up, Kalavna, Khaled, all of y'all? What's up, everyone?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, we're so happy to have you. What did you walk away from after the credits started rolling last night on episode 3? We're starting to see the baby drama, the baby mama drama, the baby daddy drama between
Mm-hmm.
two characters, Lawrence, who we've had since season 1. They're in such a different space. What was your summary of you walking away from it?
I mean, I think the realest thing I walked away from was the fact that both of them are in a very complicated situation. And I think we'd love to pick sides, we'd love to point fingers. And granted, there's a lot of miscommunication, there's, less effort than can be put forth. But I think at the end of the day, it's a shitty situation, and both of them are going about it in ways that are not helping. That's what I took away from it.
Who? Because we're going to talk about that communication kerfunkle
Mm.
they found last night. So because that's all I can describe it as. I was like, "What is going on, child?" Oh my
A
God!
mess.
So, whew.
And
So
expectations too, and people not saying what they need, and being honest about that. I think that always gets us in trouble as humans in interpersonal relationships to begin with. So I think we saw that last night. That's probably what I walked away with the most. Say what you need.
the projections were out of this world, and with that,
Ooh.
we are going to jump right in, ladies and gentlemen, and babies in between. Is you ready? Let's start diving in with tonight's dissection. So I wanted to start here because one of the few opening shots of the episode was Lawrence coming back to this place that he is having to leave. And in the first few sequences, we see that he's sort of in this two light bulb synchronicity, like this visual synchronicity. And we see it in several shots as he begins his time, like this. I meant to show this one. Like these kind of two light bulbs hanging above him. And here's what I'm feeling from this. I feel like this is constantly Lawrence being between two options. And what could these two options be? I feel like he's constantly having this tug of war between Condola and Issa, San Francisco and LA, Bachelor versus Daddy. And these bulbs almost sort of mirroring that big full moon that we saw as he and Issa were finalizing this breakup yet again. And so when he finally gets to work, as we dissected for episode 2, when we saw Issa in her new workspace and her new life, there's always these pops of red in the place that they wanted to be, right? He's in this new space, he's in this new position. He chooses something against the rest of the team. He chooses to invest in a company that the team is not quite confident in. And here's my thing with Lawrence, because this is a pattern that I've seen with him. Um, he sort of has like this bodacious ego and confidence that sort of gets in the way of his good decision making. And we saw that when he didn't quite have a business plan in season 1 with Issa, and he's sitting on the couch, but he got it though. It just needs some time though. Or he was like too good to do Best Buy. Or he was like bucking up at a partner like, nah, they like whoop whoop, they like whoop whoop, like no they don't. Like,
And then
like
there's
they
people like
don't.
Chad around him who put that battery in his back too. Shout out
Like,
to the Chad Hive.
what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? So there's these patterns and these moments where Lawrence is not quite prepared for what he says he's ready for.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So moving on to the parents. Let's jump in, y'all.
Oh
Let's
boy.
jump in. These are the first time that we're seeing these two people connect, and they're not even being shot in the same frame. Even in the same room, they are not together at all. So something was like really strange here, because the nurse kind of introduces the information to him like, you have a son, and I was wondering, like, did he even know? Did he even know he had a son? And he's finally meeting her family,
For the
who
first
has,
time.
yes, and they've obviously been
Yikes.
there with Condola like all this time. He hasn't. Um, and we meet the baby Elijah Mustafa
A
Walker.
name, okay? To his
Named him.
face, he was like, oh, Mustafa.
Named him. And it's just so painfully obvious, like the baby was already planned. Like
Mm-hmm.
Condola's been in motion with this for a long time. It's Lawrence who's walking up and meeting us where she's meeting us where she's at. Okay. And I also wanted to attend to the fact that, and I'm gonna come back, but there seems to be a lack of men in Condola's care. But I'm gonna put a pin in it. I just want y'all to hold on to that.
Mm,
I really want y'all to hold on because she's surrounded by women, in which I think informs the way she goes about this co-parenting situation. So can we meet little
mm-mm-mm.
Elijah real quick?
That face, though.
Let's meet
Oh my, oh
little
my God. How they gonna do that to us?
Elijah.
Look at this.
Look at this little baby. And so
Mm.
in the past few dissections, I was kind of pondering on what the color white meant. Sort of was stumbling upon like maybe it's like a distraction color, or maybe it's something going on. And then there was like this big white full moon. But I think I finally settled on something that feels good to me. And if you guys have any other opinions, please let me know how you feel about the color white in this series. For anyone who's new to the dissections, there is a very specific color theme in Insecure. Yellow is their everyday normal routine, their old ways. What do you wake up and do every day? Blue is new journeys, new opportunities. What do you want to do? Sort of like your fantasy world that you're trying to achieve and trying to acquire, right? So it's sort of like that new phase. And then red in anything that you watch, it either represents like pain and wounds, or it could represent passion and love and fierceness. And then any other colors mixtures around there could mean something else. So when I look at Mr. Mustafa right here, I am seeing white being a transitional color because obviously this is Lawrence transitioning from X to bachelor to father. The baby, he's a boy, but he obviously has a blue hat. This will obviously be a very new journey for Lawrence. But there's red right behind his beautiful little head. There's these pops of red. And in what should be a joyous moment, as soon as Lawrence even arrives to the hospital, there's just pain and wounds and resistance and interruptions and all of this mess. And it's like this shouldn't feel like this, but it does. And of course, finding out that the baby's even being born via text, like
Text while on a date at that, just to really really add to it. But also, I think the issue I had with this situation, at least this moment, was that pregnancy does not start at the birth of the child. And while I do think Condola was being a little stubborn, a little distant, we have to also be like, he has to be accountable for the fact that he was not around to even know whether she was about to give birth. I don't see where he talked about visiting her, going to the doctors with, doctor with her for the baby checkups and the sonograms. And I mean, there's so much that goes into it. I know you're not together, but it's still your child, right? And it's not just about the birth, it's about the process to that, and the mental and emotional health of the mom while she's carrying your child. And I feel like I don't see where he had any connection to that. So seeing him be so frustrated was kind of unfair on his part, I felt.
you absolutely right. You know why? Because that was my problem with this, is that there was no mention or thought or like motivation to be like, I need to take care of the woman who's carrying my child. These are all his complaints. Let me list Lawrence Walker's complaints. He said, man, I found out through text. Oh, her family treated me like some deadbeat, man. Oh, he only has my last name. I didn't give it to like name it. Oh my God, I didn't get to decide. Who crying? The baby of Lawrence. Who crying? Please. Oh my God. Is there any other concern beside himself at all? Oh, she ain't leaving me
Right.
out of this. She ain't leaving me out of shit else. Bucking up. Sit down,
Brother, you
Deconstruct.
left yourself out. You left yourself out, you know, and this is what happened. This is the consequence of that action. That's just the reality of it. You're going to have to defer to mama when you choose to opt out of certain parts of this birth. And that's just what it is.
And that's exactly it. Vibrant Hughes said MIA. Simone said Condola been living like a woman who is raising a child on her own from jump. She named the baby on her own. She planned the baptism on her own. We definitely going to talk about that. Mara said he was up under Issa. He didn't prepare for the life of his upcoming son either. And Trinity Boy, what up, Damien? Says Condola also biting her words. That he could have been involved as he wanted to be. We're gonna get there.
Okay, I was gonna say we gotta put a pin in that because we gotta be fair too. Yeah, she thought it was gonna be a lot easier. A lot of moms say that. Oh, you know, I'll do it, and then they do it, and be like, oh shit.
You're gonna have to call Tyra, call him, bring his ass, come back here now because I ain't mean it. You're definitely going to come out. But you brought up a great point. Did she leave him out? His narrative is that she ain't letting me get my kid. We've heard a lot of y'all say that. But you know, doing you, boo. Like, put a pin in it. We'll be back. So let's go here. I want to get deeper into the parents and look how split they are yet again, right? There was this tweet during the show last night where somebody was like, what were Lawrence and Condola thinking when it came to co-parenting? No communication, just vibes. Like,
Ooh,
where
that's a good one.
where are all of the talking? And Fran and I started this conversation today speaking about all of the projections that are happening, right? Because even in this very scene, they're not talking about what they talking about. There's two conversations at play here, right? You have Lawrence on the surface being inquisitive about the baby's safety and what's up, what's wrong, and Condola who's like doubling down on like all her plans. I got it. It's fine. It's handled. Ain't nothing wrong. AKA, Lawrence is really saying, look, I don't feel involved. And you can see that here with the color that's behind him. He's trying to transition into this father, but there's so much resistance. I do not feel involved. Versus Condola, who's getting defensive about all these questions, who's really trying to say under all of that, I don't feel adequate. And she's right in front of that blue, right? This new mom journey. This is new for her, and this is scary and difficult and hard. And she's trying to hide all of her struggle underneath all of these supposed plans that she's got, right? And so, where do we go from there? Bye, baby. I got to do. I gotta go. Look, Lauren standing there looking stupid. Look, left you where you was at, huh? I'm his father, and I just feel like I should get some say so. Okay. So Condola's doing what she do. She's moving on with Elijah and leaving Lawrence on his own, the way he said he wanted to be, and the way he's been showing that he wanted to be. I'll fill you in on the doctor visits and the baptism, and I'll let you know. Matter of fact, I will let you know. My sister's gonna let you know. I'm actually not gonna do it myself. Kyra, like, you know. So, and she gets at him like, okay, well, what happened to just keep me posted? Let's bring a friend into the room, Kid Fury right here, who says,
"Hey, Fury." He's so funny.
I hate them both because it's noisy and loud and messy and like, what is it? Like, what is it going to be? So at this point, I had to ask, and I would love to jump into the comments on this as well, friend, if you have any say. Is this even about Lawrence wanting to be the man and the father, or is this about his ego?
Wow, that's a good question. Is this about his ego? Wow. I'm like, I don't even know how to answer that. To be honest, I can't even read it because I think the thing with Condola is you can't blame her for not trusting him. I can't imagine telling a man that I am having his child and his reflex is to be disappointed and essentially tell her, maybe it wasn't that night, but in other conversations, that she was ruining his life and fucking his whole shit up, and how do you then allow a person who comes at it that way to take your child for the weekend to San Francisco? How do you allow him to come to all the doctor's visits? And I know there has to be a sting and an ache that, even though, yes, there's, they're going to have to work through that at some point. But we also have to understand that that cannot be the easiest thing to get over. And he's not, I don't see where he's remembering him saying that, or even coming at her that way, or even the fact that, like someone's comment mentioned, he was up under Issa, for a long time. Or they were back together. Yeah, I mean, not even up under, they were back together after a while. So it's just a lot of emotions, and he's coming at it from the lens of, this person has destroyed my life, and she's coming at it from the lens of, how can I even let him in when he views me that way? So I can't call if it's ego or emotions, or just not having systems in place to work through the anger, the resentment, just all these emotions that this baby is kicking up, which people say, you want to be triggered, have a baby. Because there's nothing more triggering than a baby bringing up all the stuff, all your deep-rooted, deep-seated issues. And they are both facing and reckoning with a lot right now. That's all I can say about that.
Ooh, how messy parenthood is. I ain't having no baby.
I know. I'd be scared. Like, I don't even know.
I'm going to get a pig the way I always want. I want that little pig running around my damn house. That's what I want.
Not a pig.
A hungry little bacon baby running around. Jordan says, I think it might be hard for Lawrence to see he's dropping the ball. So many people think providing financially is enough.
Real.
So as high earners, it's like, why are you asking for more?
That's real. That's very real, Jordan. You forget that time is just as valuable, if not more.
Yeah, I'm on the side of, I think in this moment, it's really about his ego, because what I would love to hear him say, besides getting frustrated and him wanting to be this thing, is, what do you need? How can I help? How can I leave
How do we do this?
It don't come out of his mouth. Not how come I don't get? How come I don't say? How come I can't go? I would have chopped that ass down so fast, because you playing with me, okay? My son is in the back. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I want to talk about that alarm, because in season 4, that alarm is so blaring, and it's like emergency, emergency. And the fact that it was the same alarm when Lawrence and Condola seemingly woke up in this beautiful, perfect Thanksgiving morning. And it felt so opposite of that beautiful, soft moment of them waking up, kissing, being cute and vulnerable. And she says specifically about this alarm that it's what she uses to wake her up out of her sleep, because if she left it up to herself, she would sleep through an emergency. And I was like, I love the way Insecure plays on the parallels of like their storytelling. Like, I wouldn't be aware of an emergency if it wasn't for this alarm. And so as they're trying to bring their two worlds together to co-parent, this blaring, there's an emergency is blaring as they're just trying to like pack up and go and like finish this doctor's visit. And I was like, oh, y'all dropped that right into the bucket again. So I like that. So I got to give it to Lawrence. He did try. He asked Condola to get the baby for a week. And here's my thing about Lawrence. Like, out of everything we're watching Condola do, Lawrence goes, I built a crib. What? I would fight you, okay? I would fight you so bad, because you did one thing and was like, I'm such a good man. And you niggas, y'all do that shit all the time. And like, I can't. And then at the baptism, he actually does give praise. You such a good man. You here. What a father, X, Y, and Z. And Condola's like, oh, fuck me, huh? Just like,
right. And her sister wasn't having it though.
When you shoot that eye, like, You know you're getting dragged silently, and you just gonna have to stand there in that red suit looking stupid. Okay. But I honestly to God believe like there's such a delusion to Lawrence. And being sort of delusional about like his value or like where he is in other people's lives, like it's sort of his pattern. Um, and there's this thing about like dads that sort of gets this like humorous, loving gaze for being completely incompetent. Even like this like talk
Mm.
show host would like made like a whole field street style interview of like, look how bad these dads are failing, and the audience is like, oh, they like these fathers don't know their kids' birthdays, don't know their kids' best
Oh,
friend,
I
don't know what
remember
school they go
that.
to,
I remember that
don't know they got.
video.
So what is we clapping for? Cause you here?
And the moms were just the moms just looking like, wow, embarrassing.
Yes. And
And
like
remember
that's
they
what
asked the moms the same questions and they just and they knew everything. Said so much. And
this is
these are
how
men
that
in the
drag.
house.
Say that again.
And these are men in the house with the mom and kids. That makes it even worse. So
You
you're
live there,
present and not
sir.
present.
You live there.
Mm.
So and they get this sort of like praise of like just being there. So like let's wake that up real quick. The fact that you asked to hold this baby for a week, but Uncle Rob talking about toss it in the deep end. But you got to prove to me that you can handle this. And he sort of goes back to that unreliable pattern, right? He's like, I'm tired. I'm actually not going to come up this weekend as I promised. And I heard you say on
Yeah.
Insecurity, you were speaking about
Mm-hmm.
that it wasn't even a week. You
I
just made
mean,
this promise and it's been days and you're already breaking it.
and you're on her neck about wanting to be more involved. She finally gives you an inch, which, not that, like, obviously he deserves the inch. He's the dad. Let's be real here. But she finally is like working through her trust issues, her resentment, and here you go canceling. And then it was sad because you see it in her face where she was just like, I finally I'm understanding that I do need you, and you're dropping the ball. So they're both just a lot. Like I said, it's a lot with both of them. They're just not speaking like you said. They're not saying what the other one needs, what the other one's expecting. It's just a lot of projecting and a lot of not saying what it is. And it's making things worse. That poor baby.
Yes, because and it's these tiny inconveniences for him that throws her entire schedule and plan out of whack. Like just that
Mm.
little ripple, he's just like, I'm tired. I don't want to feel like traveling. And her whole plan for the next day had to be rearranged because he just kind of made that decision real quick. Did y'all
And it was
realize this?
unfair. And it's
It,
unfair because moms don't get to do that. We don't get to say, "Oh, I'm too tired," and then leave the baby in the crib because, like, I'll check on you tomorrow. Like, kid,
oh,
you're on call, and it just shows how unfair that is because he was quote unquote tired. He got to opt out just that quick.
it truly sickens me. But did y'all realize this? How he kind of acts about Issa? We see that yellow popping up, right? He want that old thing back. That yellow symbolizes you want your old shit. So how's everybody else? You ain't slick, Lawrence. You ain't goddamn slick, okay? So let's get down to this emergency. Let's see this emergency
Oh my god, I'm
where
dead, baby.
Lawrence gives Mr. Mustafa himself some solid carrots and Condola breaks all hell. So let's talk about this. I'm gonna just land my hot take real quick with y'all. She was right. I'm just gonna That's just me. I ain't got no kids. I don't
Mm.
know. I think she was absolutely right. But men don't take their responsibilities, nor do they take women's anger seriously. And he used
Mm.
all the triggering phrases that I fucking hate myself. Is it that Z? Why are you being so
Mm.
dramatic? Yo, calm
Mm.
down. Would have had a
Mm.
fight.
Mm.
I knock all this shit
And
over.
they did.
I would have knocked all this shit over. Cause you lined
Mm-hmm.
up them phrases back to back like that, and let's just fight. Let's just do it. So any takes? Do we think she was overreacting about the carrots? Do we think it wasn't that big
I
of a deal?
do.
He was fine. You do? All right, let's hear.
I do. I think, okay, I shouldn't say I think she was overreacting because I am not a mom. I can't even imagine someone coming in and giving my baby solids for the first time when I've been taking care of this child every day. Like, you get to, I know those are like moments that are important, for moms and parents to be a part of. So I'm sure there's something emotional in that I can't speak to. But I felt her overreaction was coming from more of the wound than like the actual present moment, like she was bringing all of the things that she was feeling towards him and for him in that moment. At least that's how I read it. But I totally think she wowed out. Like, she could have put him in his place because at the end of the day it happened already. So what are we gonna do, you know snatch the baby and leave if it's that bad? Bye.
My thing is because I'm not a parent, I don't even know what I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'm missing. But when she said we don't even know if he has an allergy, what was we gonna do if his
Mm,
little throat started to close up? And like,
fair.
and that's the thing that pisses me off about this damn crib too, because that's all you did. You ain't cover no outlets. You didn't baby proof and cover up all the corners. You didn't vacuum and pick up all the little pieces off the floor because they nibble and munch at everything. You didn't read a book. You didn't go anywhere. You didn't research. You just built a crib and patted yourself on the back. I used to be more in time. Like, this shit fucking hurts, dog.
I'm still Lauren time. Y'all know what it is.
This shit fucking hurts, dog. Because I was riding for you. We was rooting for you. We was all rooting for you. And like, you just did this shit. Like, come on, that is so crazy. That is so crazy. But in this moment, Condola says, "Give me my baby," which therein lies the
Mm.
problem as well. These two
Mm-hmm.
opposing forces. Like, this is all my situation. You're imposing on my situation. And Lawrence is like, I very much deserve to be here as well. So going back to that theme of Lawrence being trapped between these two options, he has two pieces of friends advice, which the reason why he's here is because of Chad's advice. We caught you on the summer jam screen, friend, talking about you, Chad Hive. We seen it on Twitter
The
last week.
president. Okay. I love me some
Chad,
Chad.
Chad put a battery in his boy's back. He was like, "Yo, you got to box
Always.
back," and that's exactly how Lawrence was going about this Condola
Yep.
situation until we met somebody with
Yep.
sense. Derek, Derek to save
Shout
the
out to
day.
Derek. And shout out to Derek for reading that room. You know what I'm saying? He spotted that quick, and without even knowing what they were saying or what was happening, he just felt it. He was like, "Let me just pull this brother to the side because he is not going to make the situation any better by
Mm-mm.
pushing a new mom." Like, we got to think of what Derek just went through in the last season with Tiffany and her postpartum, and how much he's probably learned about his role in those emotions and just in curating a space where she could feel safe to work through them. So I feel like he was coming from that place too, of having experienced it firsthand. And I love that he took him aside and was just like, "Help me with these boxes," or whatever it was that he said. I thought that was super dope. Men should do that more, honestly.
Yeah, I love the fact that like we still don't know what Tiffany and Derek's problem even is, but the
Mm-hmm.
fact is they fixed that shit. Period.
Okay.
Whatever it was, they fixed
Mm-hmm.
that shit. So Derek, in his experience as a father, as a married man, says sometimes you got to wave the white flag. Figure out
Okay.
where to meet her at. Figure out what the solution is. How can you guys make this work versus who's right, who gonna get, who gonna win. It ain't about
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff all the time, right? So I stand Derek. I stand his advice. I will say, even though it did feel a little like Lawrence wasn't being heard 100%, because I don't think Derek is fully aware of how difficult Condola is actually being. And so Lawrence, there's times where he went about it softly. There's times he went about it aggressively. There's times he's
Mm-hmm.
trying all these things to just make her give in, and she is not budging. And I don't think Derek saw that, but his advice was pretty. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
appreciated it. So I wanted to get here. Let's see where we at. Let's see what we doing. Because you would have had to kill me. You would have had to lay me out. I'm
This is
sorry.
so good. The split screen. I love that they did that. I love that they did that. What a great choice.
Yes, and it perfectly surmised the type of lifestyles they have to live with this child being in the picture between them two. Condola is exhausted. And that's quite literally the only reason she allows Lawrence to take Elijah overnight, because she's not even her own option at this point. She's out of options. So if it's got to be this just for a smidgen of a break, yes, take your son. You can have him. So I thought this was a pretty cool tweet. Let me see if I got it here. I hope this may chill out some of the condolences energy and show her as a real person. Shout out to Marquise, who I think actually might be in the room right now too. His tweet was right over it saying, "No, she get on my nerves." Actually cannot sympathize. Um, did you learn or feel any more humanity to Condola after seeing her be knocked off her game a little bit?
You know what? I feel for Condola as a whole. I just do, because we also have to remember the sheer exhaustion that it is being a new mom. My best friend, shout out to Shameless Maya. Most of you know who she is. Just had a baby in September, and
Virgo gang.
the right Virgo gang. And when she talks to me about, and mind you, she's married, has a husband who is present, has help. She's so tired. It's like you can't think straight, you can't function. Your whole life has been turned upside down. And though you're excited, obviously, for a baby who isn't, it's a blessing, it's a gift, but it's like you are like, oh my God, what did I do? There's this like feeling of like, what did I do? And you're so scared and you feel so uninformed, even if you've read every book, because this is this baby, you know. So I'm trying to sympathize with that aspect of it outside of all the emotions. Lawrence, who's feeling what people feel about her. She's tired too. Like she can't even think straight, just as it is. Right. Hi, Leslie. Maya's videos on motherhood have been so honest. She's cried on YouTube showing like, I'm so tired. I can't even think. I remember my other best friend called me crying in the shower one day, and she was just like, I just want to take a shower. Like I just want to wash my hair. And I went to the house because she was having a full blown meltdown just because she just wanted to shower. Like that's all. She just wanted to shower, wanted to eat something, take a nap, sleep. And I think people are forgetting that part. That just in and of itself is a whole different realm of where your mind is and what your mind is experiencing. And I feel like no one's talking about that.
Yeah, that truly made me rethink. I don't even know if I was like hard on Condola like that last season, but it truly like it this split screen right here like truly woke it up. Like this is
Ooh,
the ugliness of motherhood. What happened in season 4 when we as an audience and as fans of the show saw Tiffany having trouble and going through it and having like postpartum depression and just running
right,
away, we weren't
right.
seeing her like directly with the baby. We were seeing the after effects. And the
Mm-hmm.
after effects of Tiffany, like Squad was outside just looking for their friend, looking for the mother of their child. Like that really was just like this jarring, shaking moment to where like you like society encourages women to like, of course you want to be a mother, like of course. But then
Mm-hmm.
where's the support and the grace and the patience for when we are at we y'all are at your wits end with
Right.
motherhood? And it really gotta be both sides on that. All right. So yeah, to me, like it humanized her, but
So much.
just the layers of what she's feeling with Lawrence anyway did not make that journey with motherhood any easier at all. So
Mm.
where's we at? Let me see. Emergency. Another emergency. And I will say again, Lawrence is trying. But my thing in this moment where they have this big blow up fight is that in her exhaustion, she agreed to let Lawrence take the baby. But once she remembers that he's not reliable as a partner, as a father, as a man, I think her maternal instincts really kicked in, was like, I actually might be leaving my baby in danger with you more than I'm exhausted. And she was just like, call the whole thing off. Like, absolutely. When we get to the bottom of it, boom, bong, bang, I don't trust you.
And you know that trust piece is so big, and you don't even have to have kids to understand this. I'm sure people can relate to how maybe you've ever been in a relationship where someone cheated or something, and you're trying to work through it, or maybe you give them another chance, and maybe they do change and they do grow, but there's that part of you that like it's just like, I don't know, maybe yes, no, and like change is not easy, and that's why I keep referring back to her remembering his words of feeling like she ruined his life. And so there might be that element of her that's like, you know what, he is his dad, I need help, I'm exhausted, let me give this baby to him for the weekend. That would be awesome. She can go sleep. She can do whatever she needs to just to have time to herself and reconnect with herself, be in her own energy. But then as soon as she saw his face, it's like all those feelings came back. She's like, give me my baby. Like, I get it. And you know how that is. You can feel one way and then you see the person's face and something shifts in you. You're just like, never mind. Take it all back.
You know what? I feel Canola because he came in too happy. Now, if I don't like your energy when I'm
too happy,
I'm tearing it all down. I'm tearing it all down. Absolutely not. Because I'm mad you came in here cheery talking about, I'm a little late. Now get out of my house. Now you're upset. Now we're going to be mad. Because absolutely not. But I wanted to come back to what we put a pin in earlier, where Condola seems to have a lack of the presence of men on her end. And here's why I think it's important, because like from her history or from her apparent pattern, men aren't there, period. So that's even how she's going about this co-parenting situation. She was like, you can actually go and I'll have the baby myself. This is how she has this sort of pseudo sense of control over her life, because instead of giving you the space and the chance to leave me, as a man has left my mom, I've seen other men may have left.
On it, Latasha.
You're not going to do it to me. So let me actually control the situation and you can go. You can actually go out earlier. And she prepared to have this walk of solitude the entire time. And Lawrence, wanting to be there, actually throws all of her plans off. Because I saw this tweet last night too, and I was like, hold up. She had every intention from the beginning to do this without him, until someone replies, until she realized how hard it was. Now the confidence turned into resentment and anger, realizing that I'm not as good at this as I thought I was, which is also like a huge knock to the ego. So you need to maybe project that in ways that you're not quite connecting, right? And even in a moment of vulnerability, she says, well, look, I did give you a chance and you moved away. Do you know how rejecting that feels? Like, number one, you don't want me because you still got this whole thing with your ex. But number two, I have your child and you still don't care. I would burn everything down. I'm sorry. What? You still... It's still a no? Because... I don't know how she did it, okay? I don't know how she did it. Lawrence retorts, there was a job I already had until you blew up my life. Fran, what prayer or what meditation or what crystal is needed to ground us? Because
I keep dying every time you're like, I would have blown.
No, a black woman. What Tyler Perry said? Hell has no fury to the colored woman down.
Oh my God. I mean, oh my God. I don't even know what to say, honestly. I'm even rendered speechless at this, honestly.
until there's like, so there right there is the crux where I don't trust you and you blew up my life. And that's what all
Mm-hmm.
this tit for tat is the entire time. Khaled's like, when he hit her with that, shut up, he was spitting facts. Oh, when she was spitting facts, Khaled almost got you out of here. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Um, Damien said, I asked this question on Facebook. Is it fair for Lawrence to have to give up his dream job to be a father? And I actually asked that question as well. Like, is that choice, or what should have had priority, the baby or the job? Because he could take this dream position to make all this money, and it's going to be harder, and it's what he's been working towards, and this baby was not a part of the plan, or have less in order to be more responsible to a child, which I don't know. I don't know. Here's where I'm at with, look, it ain't fair. Okay. Life ain't fair, period. So
Mm.
I just think that this whole blow up is just her responding to his pattern. Because he wasn't that nigga, if we being honest, like since he met her. Let me run down my list of complaints about Lawrence. Give me a second. All right. Because when they first got together, he wasn't even the man that she needed. He was performing a version of himself that he thought she wanted. That's number one. Okay. He was really
Ooh.
just presenting himself as this unhealed person from his ex, because he never even stopped to think about how he was going to solve that emotional wound from his last relationship. All he did was just move on. And that's how you niggas act. The
Mm.
night that she was trying to really reel him in, I got to tell you something. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? We have to talk. We have to talk. He was out heading the clouds at the art gallery with Issa. And he was like, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. Then at the end of the night, he just didn't, because he was coming somewhere else. Okay. So that was happening. And then I said last season that I feel that Lawrence knew of the baby earlier than when he told Issa he found out. Because it was like the last two episodes where Issa was really making plans like, distance ain't nothing but a number. It could be whatever. And he was so sad and heavy, and he was wearing that weird red track jacket, and he was just so down and heavy. Um, and Fran, you said this on Insecuriety as well, that, and you said it here as well too, that pregnancy don't just start at the baby coming out. Like, she had a whole 9 months of dealing with this, prepping for this, carrying this, and he wasn't there at all. Not a doctor's appointment, not a
I
check-in,
mean,
not
a
a neck
Lamaze
pillow.
class. I
He was,
mean,
Lawrence, girl, you're giving nothing. So what are you expecting her to trust you 110% now just because you said so? It's giving it's giving delusion. And Lawrence gives that. Here's where I'm at with it. Shout out to Fran, Crystal right here. Condola fucked up when she told this nigga he was the father. Keep him out from the beginning. It's gonna be all
Crystal
this.
is so funny.
Look, if it's gonna be all this, keep him out from the beginning, please, because I think in that moment she was trying to be fair, because people get weird when mamas don't let the father know X, Y, and Z. So she was trying to be fair, but really giving him like, you don't even have to do this. But he wanted to do the right thing, messing everything up. God, just go away. Go away. All right. We're going to talk about this in the VIP post show, but I wanted to bring y'all attention to something that made me irate. I hate this tweet so much. Most recent episode of Insecure was good as hell. As an expert who studies fathers, I would like to tell you what I saw: maternal gatekeeping.
Uh-oh.
And when women intentionally or unintentionally keep the baby away from the dad. There's a whole article, there's pieces and bits. When I talk to my VIP patrons in our VIP post show, we will argue. Let's argue. Okay.
Yeah. Only thing I will say is this: to be fair, are there women that do this? Absolutely. We've all seen it. We all have an uncle or a cousin or a friend who wants to be there, and the mom, for whatever reason, because you also never really know what it was, just decided that that wasn't an option. So it does happen, but we can't say that this was that case. I mean, Condola's not like not answering his calls, she is like, here's what you want to know, the appointments. Great. These are the dates. You want to come visit, my place, call me. You have my number. You want to, everything's being scheduled. So it's not that. I don't see that. It's just a lot of emotions running rampant. That's what's happening right now. But I don't agree with it being gatekeeping at all.
Yeah, that was such a crazy phrase, but we're gonna talk about it in depth after this show. Any pros about how Lawrence is trying to navigate this?
Pros. Um, you know what? I'm gonna give it to Lawrence, and I know y'all gonna roll your eyes because it's the same thing of like, we can't give a dad a cookie for like being a dad, like. So there's that part of me that's like, I want to give him the cookie because it's like, well, at least he's like pushing, he's pushing. I'm trying to give Lawrence something. He's pushing in the direction of wanting to do something, as opposed to pushing in the direction of not even being there, as that video that went viral with that poor little girl. I don't know if you saw, where she's been like, her dad just hasn't been in her life, and then he comes in and out, and her mom lets him, and it was just a mess of a video that went viral. At least Lawrence isn't that, so that's really all I can give him. I don't know what else.
But here's why I won't get that cookie. I won't get a cookie out.
I'm trying to give him something.
He didn't see that split screen. We saw it. So
Okay.
like, his version of trying was building that fucking crib and putting his feet up. Like, if you knew the half of what it took to be a mother, you would know you're not even giving 5%. Like, you're not even are you just sending money just because? Are you scheduling her appointments for her? Are you sending her lifts every time she got to go so she don't got to carry? Like, are you providing more than being like, I got to fly on the weekend? I can't. Okay.
See, Token Tube says his fervor is commendable, at least. Exactly. You get me. I'm trying to give him that. The fervor is in the right direction.
Nigga, stay trying. As long as you're trying, you don't ever gotta get. Not that we need you to get. Okay? Step your cookies up before they crumble. That's on God. Okay? Yeah, because look, we shaking the table. Now don't shake. Unless you're ready to get shook. He shook the table. Look at him, scared all in the eyes all of a sudden. Scared. All right? And I want to bring it back to the season 5 premiere by reciting the quote by Kelly Prenny herself. If you knew the end was coming, how would you make the most of your time left, right? What legacy would you leave behind? And that's it. That's it. That's the moment. Lawrence, are you proud? Will this be how we remember you, how your people remember you? Yelling at the down to the baby shower, trying on the weekends, doing a favor here or there, demanding the baptism. Is this your legacy? Is this your king? Okay. What is your next best move? And of course, as he takes a peek out of the airplane window, seeing that full moon again, which we pondered last night on Twitter. I'm JustLatasha404 on Twitter. That's Hey Fran Hey on Twitter.
Hey.
Full moons being endings, cycles, renewals, cleansing, resets, and most of all, intention. What are we doing all of this for? What are we fighting for, right? And I remember when Kelly at Simone's birthday party was saying, look, I died 9 months ago. She said it cute and funny in that tuxedo, but that episode felt way heavier than they intended. It did for me. Kelly said, I died 9 months ago. That was a turning point to how she decided she would live moving forward, right? She stepped up even harder as a friend for Tiffany. She stopped drinking. She stayed high, but she stopped drinking because she decided, like, what is this all for? How do we start living intentionally and with purpose? And when we have these transitional colors, he's sitting in this white airplane, when he's going on this new journey of manhood and fatherhood, we see that stripe of blue behind him, right? Maybe he decides to be the man that the women in his life need him to be, or be the man that he needs to be for himself. So when we settle upon the ending, we have that beautiful quote on that last call: I'm sorry, this isn't working. So what do we do? It took all of that. It took all of that for you to be like, all right, putting the sword down. I don't want to do this. Something needs to change. And he started with the man in the mirror. Hallelujah. Yes. Yes, Lord. Yes. Fran, what say you? What do you hypothesize? We're gonna pretend you ain't see all the episode, but what do you hypothesize would be Lawrence's next best move?
Well, even though we are a couple episodes ahead, the truth is there's nothing I've seen that would even tell us that so far because we're not that far ahead. So my prediction, and I said this at the end of the episode we recorded, is that he is going to realize that the way he's moving about this and going about this is not working. And like you said, Latasha, the main thing he was not asking Condola was, how can we do this? Both of them, really, to be honest. How do we do this? We're going to have to do this. The decision has already been made. The baby is here. And if we want this baby to grow up healthy and happy and feel loved, we're going to have to put ourselves aside to make this work. And how do we do that? What do you need? What do I need? And at the end, we see that literal shakeup kind of made him face that. And she even seemed to have a softening as well in her exhaustion and realizing, like, okay, like Token Tube said, he has a fervor. We just have to redirect it so that it's useful. And I think he's going to leave San Francisco. That's what I predicted at the end of our episode. He's going to come back and realize that, yes, the work is awesome. It's his dream job. But at the end of the day, this is more of a priority. And he's going to come back. But I also predict that coming back to LA also reminds him of Issa. And so while he's going to fix things with Condola, at least I hope, and they figure it out with the baby, it's also going to make him face this "you ruined my life" trope or a storyline that he's facing as well. So I'm just curious how all that's going to pan out.
And that's exactly what I was hoping for. I was like, look, come on back home now. Because we know you battling them two options, right? Like you battling them two options. How do I be a father over here? But at the end of the day, you know your heart is calling for the one you love. Your day one on from the couch. Okay? From the couch. Come on, bring that old love back. And we hope to see it. We'll see how these characters navigate new adulthood and success moving forward. This show feels so different now because we watched them be in struggle and now they're thriving, and that's still not shoe on your boots. It's a different kind of struggle. So it feels grown now. It feels different, and it's going down.
And real. Adults are messy. We make terrible decisions. We don't consider others, and then we do. And we consider them when something bad happens. I mean, this is just the reality of the human condition, the human existence. And I love that there's no villain, but there's also no hero. There's just humans. And they're showing the range of what that looks like. And people are angry about it. Everyone online is projecting based on what they've experienced or who they are or maybe what they've been through. And it's good. We're all talking. We're all getting it out. I'm not on anyone's side. I just love that we're watching two humans figure it out. And hopefully they do.
Well, look, I ain't got no kids, but y'all, this is the birth control episode. Tasha said, wrap it up.
Okay.
Wrap it up quick, because I can't. Okay. Fran, thank you so much, my glorious queen. Everyone clap it up for Fran.
I'm so honored. You know how I feel about you. You know how I feel about your work. So thank you for allowing me to take space with you today. It was super, super fun. And thank you to everyone in the chat. Y'all are awesome.
I stand. I feel like everyone already knows, but just in case they don't, please tell them any upcoming projects, where to follow you, and where to find what you're going to do next.
I mean, I'm at Hey Fran Hey across the board, and honestly, Mama is resting next month, so no upcoming projects. I have a commercial I dropped. You know, we do Insecure every week. I do Friend Zone every week. We've actually done some Target collaborations, so there's some bonus episodes out. We have a Target commercial actually dropping this week as well. So stuff this week, but that's pretty much it, right? Get into it.
We can get into the hey, everybody, man. Everybody, man. Come on, checks. I heard that. Well, I thank you so much. You are such a joy,
Thank
such a
you.
pleasure, such a light. You guys
Appreciate it.
here. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, the JustLatasha channel. I am on Patreon dissecting Insecure the entire season, only on Patreon, patreon.com/JustLatasha. I am also on Instagram at JustLatasha, Twitter, JustLatasha404, because there's just some girl taking up my name since 2012 and she ain't logged on since. Very frustrating. But that's where I am. Of course, Friend Zone, Insecurity, the dissections, all of it. Support beautiful Black women in your hood. And if you are a
For
VIP
sure.
patron, click your link right now. We about to start. Fran, thank you so much. See y'all later.
Bye, everyone.